Hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 156 just dropped. And let's talk about it. I'm a little sick today, so my voice is more nasally than usual. And also, my neighbor is mowing his lawn, so there's like an atmospheric effect for this chapter. But anyways, so the chapter starts with Denji waking up. He's been passed out for the entire week, and Yoshida greets him. And he kind of tells Denji that, he's screwed and whatever, and then leaves him but not before like sedating him and putting him back to sleep. So he walks out to his other devil hunter co-workers, including Fumiko, who reveals that they are going to dismember Denji. And then Fumiko asks if she can collect some of his body parts before Denji gets taken away by the government. So very psychotic of her. So this is a little weird because actually I'll get into that in a bit. But so Denji kind of falls back into his slumber, and then he subconsciously tells himself to save Nayuta. But then Pochita replies, "How can you do that without your legs?" And then we cut back into reality, and probably one of the most disturbing panels of the series of Denji getting cut apart on a surgical table. And at this point, it's kind of a rite of passage for protagonists who can regenerate themselves. This happened in Tokyo Gold, it happened in Ajing, and I'm pretty sure Wolverine like had it done to him a couple of times. But anyways, Denji is getting torn apart by a couple of surgeons, and one of the surgeon asks the supervising devil hunter to stop smoking and to leave the room. The guy refuses, although he could just stop smoking, but he doesn't do that either. And he is there to watch Denji and supposedly kill him if he tries to escape. I don't know how this guy's supposed to do that. Maybe he's really strong, we don't know. But as far as the surgeon goes, I don't know like what he is getting distracted from, because what he is doing doesn't seem very complicated. He's just literally using his bone saw to cut apart Denji's limbs. So I don't know, maybe some medical students can further detail on like the intricacies of what he's doing, but from my view, he's not really doing anything too complicated. But anyways, this leads to the doctor to give an exposition on the fact that they are located in the Tokyo Devil Detention Center and how secure the facility is. And then, very unsubtly, he says that it would take a war to compromise the facility before cutting to Asa and Yoru's legs. And this is kind of a bit of a symbolism here, because Denji is getting his legs torn apart. He has no legs. And then we see Yoru's legs coming into play. So, hinting at a bit of a cooperation between them in the future. So that's where the chapter ends. Yeah, okay. So let's go into it. So what is the public safety actually doing with Denji? So first of all, they're containing him, right? So I guess the initial plan is to cut apart his limbs so that he would be easier to secure and put in like a box or whatever. So why not take his heart? Because Makima tried to do that. And so I guess the reasoning behind that is because Pochita, he can like form himself just from the heart. So Denji is kind of being used as a container for his heart, is how I'm seeing it. But there is another layer to what the doctors are doing to Denji. And before I get into that, this guy is Bonesaw as is T Fuji, so another little Fujimoto putting his name on everything in the series. But anyways, another part of what the doctors are doing to Denji is that they are harvesting his limbs. Apparently, this is the leg we just cut off was the 26th right leg of Denji. So it doesn't, from what we know, it doesn't really make sense as to why they want to do that. Because as far as we know, like, their legs aren't, Denji's legs and arms, like his body isn't really that special outside of when he's not like being a chainsaw. So I don't know why they're doing this. So presumably they are infusing Denji with blood so that he can regrow his arms and legs, and that the doctors can keep harvesting them. But that's kind of not how Denji's limbs have worked in the past. Because Denji, when he infuses blood, his arms reattaches. It doesn't really like grow another one, as far as we knew. So I guess this is a bit of a new reveal. Because his limbs grow back when he pulls on the chainsaw cord and then turns into Chainsaw Man. But when he infuses blood, he just like reattaches the existing limbs. But I guess now that it's no longer the case. So another thing I want to talk about is Fumiko. She had a bit of a change in her behavior lately. So why is that? And I can't really tell you, but as of the past couple of chapters, Fumiko has been a bit more unhinged than what we're used to. She apparently collects body parts now. So, is she really like this the whole time? Because the last time we saw her before her little argument with Mayuta, she seemed to be genuinely wanting to help Denji. She even tries to convince the crowd, the mob, to not attack Denji. So what is going on here? So it could be that she's just faking it so that she can have an excuse to save Denji. But at the same time, Fujimoto, his characters, the way he writes characters, they're not like, they don't really hide who they are. Most of the time, they really are exactly as they say they are. So, I'm kind of mixed on Fumiko at the moment. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of her right now. But it also could be that she's just hiding who she is in front of Denji. And then as soon as Denji passed out, she kind of reverts back to who she really is. So not too sure what to make of her. And then there's Pochita, who appears a little, how do you say it, a bit strange in the vision that Denji has, because like this panel here where he says, how can you do that without your legs? It almost comes off as like as if he's mocking Denji. So is this really the Pochita that's inside Denji, or is this just another one of Denji's own thoughts manifesting itself? So I think there's like a good chance that this Pochita could just be Denji's subconscious talking to himself, because right before this was also Denji talking down on himself, but through like a younger version of Denji. So there's a bit of a ambiguity, I think, as far as who is actually speaking here. Uh, but yeah, that will be the end of the chapter. Next chapter comes out next week. So pretty cool. No break next week. The title of this chapter is Whoop 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 Buzz Split Split. So it's I guess it's like the sound effect of the bone saw cutting into Denji's legs. And then as far as the intro and the outro editor's notes, which is not included in the official version for some reason. So the intro is saying he's imprisoned here. Not really adding much, but the outro, I think, it says anything you can imagine could happen to what the surgeon was saying about it would take a war to destroy the facility. So I think that kind of confirms that the girl in the legs in the ending is Asa and Yoru's. I saw a couple comments about like how it would be Reze, and actually someone Shane 4 says the same thing here too. But yeah, I don't think it's Reze at all. I think it's like 98% Asa and Yoru. Because the subtlety at the end is like non-existent. So almost certain to be Asa and Yoru breaking into the facility next chapter. But yeah, I think that will be all from me for today. Um, Next week's stream might be rescheduled to like at night instead of in the morning, right after the chapter comes out, because there is a shift in schedule for my job next week. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that will be all from me for today. I'll see y'all next week.